Is physical media better than streaming?
That's a good question. Welcome to Director's Cut, episode 5.
But before we begin, it's time for a new segment that we're calling This Week I Watched.
This week, I watched the Fallout series with my dad on Amazon Prime. I give it 1, 2, 3.5 thumbs up.
Well, this week I watched the film Where the Wild Things Are by Spike Jonze. I give it 5 thumbs up.
Gee willikers, that's a really high score. That's the highest score we've had so far.
My word.
Yeah, because it's the first one. Netflix was released in Australia all the way back in 2015, which, can you believe it, it was 9 years ago.
Didn't realise it was so recent. Feels like it's been around forever.
Yeah. And since then, Netflix and streaming in general has been the dominant source of entertainment, home entertainment. For most households.
In Australia and internationally, really.
I'm a part of one of those households.
Yeah, exactly. As am I.
A streaming household.
I remember watching Netflix for the first time back in, 2018? We were watching Stranger Things because that's anything that everyone was talking about back in the day. What was the first thing that you watched on Netflix?
It was, according to my mum, the first thing I watched on Netflix was a documentary about chickens. I love chickens. They create eggs, although I don't really care for chicken meat.
Oh.
Anyway, since then, the introduction of Netflix in Australia, gajillion for billion other streaming services have gotten their grubby little fingers on our island continent.
Yeah.
And now what was once a convenient way to watch films and television, it's now a total pain.
It's basically just cable television again.
It's a pain. We've been through it, you've been through it, everyone's been through it. You want to watch something.
I have a story about that.
And it's not on there. It's not on Netflix, it's not on Amazon Prime, it's not on Paramount Plus.
Trying to watch my second favourite British sitcom, The IT Crowd. I knew it was on Netflix because that's how I'd watched it the first time around. This was only a few months ago. I turned on Netflix, went looking for it. It was gone, and I could not find it anywhere else, which made me think I should have bought that on DVD, like I did with my other favourite British sitcom, The Young Ones, which is also on streaming.
Oh, you definitely should have. I've been through it too. Back in 2021, while we were still in high school, there was this fantastic, brilliant thing called Film Club.
Yes.
Where every lunchtime, I suppose. Was it every lunchtime? Most lunchtimes.
Yeah, second break.
A film would be played. And we watched Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Speaking of fantastic, yeah.
Once. And I really wanted to watch it again after we watched it in Film Club, but unfortunately it wasn't on Netflix or whatever.
What a shame.
So I was so addicted to it that I had to go to JB Hi-Fi and buy a copy of it on DVD. And
I also did that.
If you look at my Letterboxd, you can probably see that I watched like 3 or 4 times in 1 week.
Oh, we should promote our Letterboxd.
Because I was a total addict. Addict.
These are our letterboxes. Insert a photo of a mailbox.
Mine's pretty bare. I don't watch many things. Yeah, and DVDs they can't be taken away from you.
Yes. Streaming services are meant to preserve media. They're meant to have media there for you to be able to watch, but that's not how it is. Stuff goes all over the place, stuff gets removed, deleted, moved to other platforms, and it's a hassle because you have to keep track of it and you can't just pick up a good old DVD and put it in the player.
Even originals.
Original series, yeah.
Sometimes things are deleted or moved or
whatever. If they don't make enough money or get enough views, this is mostly Disney. Oh, Netflix will just cancel it, but Disney will just wipe it from the earth, and they will not do a physical release unless it's insanely popular, in which case it comes out 2 or 3 years after the fact anyway.
Disney doesn't give a darn.
No, they
And,
don't.
what's that sci-fi show that you like with the weird guy?
I think they call it Doctor Who.
Really? And where can one watch classic Doctor Who?
Oh, classic Doctor Who. That's a good question.
It's an awfully long pause for a simple question.
You can't watch it anywhere.
What? You can't watch classic Doctor Who anywhere if you're in Australia?
Used to be on BritBox, and then Disney bought Doctor Who basically.
Hashtag
and-
boycott BritBox and the BBC and also Disney and also...
And instead of putting it on their own service so that people can still watch it, all Disney did was remove it from everywhere else so no one can watch it.
Thanks a lot, Disney. And what's the one way you can watch it in Australia now that's not streaming besides piracy?
Internet Archive? No.
Internet Archive's basically piracy, let's be honest.
Physical media.
Oh, wow. And you know what sucks? Disney doesn't release physical media in Australia anymore, so they probably won't be doing any more of these.
No.
And
What a shame.
my favourite show, The Monkeys, also isn't available on any streaming services. So the other year, 2 years ago, I had to buy this, which I love, and I think it was well worth the money I spent on it. Look at that. What is this called?
Lenticular.
Yeah, that's cool.
That looks way cooler than some website's UI. Just gonna...
Yeah. Now I have this show, I don't have to worry about it being destroyed or ruined or Liberty Blued on
Unless it
on
gets like
streaming service.
physically destroyed.
Yeah,
Someone
but I wouldn't let anyone do that.
uses the discs as frisbees.
Someone, Family
for that.
Ties, there's, along the street I live, someone has just scattered their Family Ties DVDs all over the street and they've been crushed and
terrible.
scattered and splintered and all that by
Wow.
by cars. And
That
it's-
poor family.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of things being not available, Seinfeld. You want to watch Seinfeld in the original 4:3 aspect ratio on Netflix? Well, you can't, buddy. You have to watch it in the panned and scanned. I hope some of you know that term.
There's a little definition on the screen.
Yeah, pan and scan. It's when you take a frame that's a certain size. So let's say Seinfeld is 4:3 and you crop it. You've scanned it in. I think that's the scanning. And now if you want to move the frame up and down, you have to pan it. And
That also happened with The Simpsons when Disney Plus became a thing, and it cut out many of the site-based gags that were on the edge of the screen, and most of the jokes don't work anymore. With one of our films the other day, we had stuff on the frame and we cropped it to be better,
You'll see that film in a few weeks.
not the stuff outside the frame.
Anyway, panning and scanning is a technique that was used all the way back in the 80s when films were released on VHS and everyone had 4:3 televisions. So let's say Alien, I'll put some visuals up on the screen. Alien used to be in, I don't think it was 16:9, but it was widescreen, and then it got cropped to fit in 4:3
Squashed.
and absolutely butchered. Right, here are some clips they're playing over while I'm talking. And people realized at some point, like during the mid to late 80s, they realized, hey, directors don't like this because we're completely ruining their film, and we don't like it because it's ruining our films that we're trying to watch. I'm sorry, I touched the microphone. And let's just release the films on widescreen. So televisions, even though they were 4:3, presented a 16:9 image.
Wow.
Just like how if you watch a 4:3 thing, there's those two black bars
I love the bars.
at the side of the screen. And you can just crop in. If you really hate those bars, you can crop in on your television.
I don't think I know how to do that.
Censorship.
Oh my
Streaming
goodness.
services love censoring things.
And
as well.
I hate censoring things. Some
Welcome to Sky News.
some places do. They have a solution where they just present the original thing and have a little disclaimer at the start saying this will be presented in the original form. We are not altering it, and you just have to keep the context of when it was made in mind. It's an educational opportunity, depending on what the censorship is. But other places just cut it or, censor it. They digitally alter stuff on the screen, or they just cut scenes out.
Home Alone 2, people were signing a petition to get that Donald Trump scene
really?
censored.
That's the funniest bit of the movie. I'm gonna get your hot dog.
It's funny, and there's like no reason to censor that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a guy who likes McDonald's, really, if you think about it. Yeah. So censorship, I'm a bigger fan of what he said.
Yeah.
Put a disclaimer.
Which I think Disney used to, on Disney Plus, they would just remove scenes or lines.
Time for some rapid fire pros and cons.
I love this bit. Or the pro guy.
Your con man.
Con man.
Pro for streaming. It's cheap in the short term. You get these little free trials to entice you. They're pretty good if you want to try a new service.
There's a con though. Subscriptions are expensive, especially if you have multiple at the same time.
Yeah. And they're forever.
They are.
So I've conned.
You've conned, yeah.
Be pro, man.
The
Pro, there's less of a risk to trying new films. Like if you see an obscure German film, you can try it. If you don't like it, you can stop watching it. And all you've wasted is 5 minutes. It's not like you've wasted a few dollars renting it or whatever.
Yeah, but you need internet access to watch streaming services, which some people might not have access to, or you could be in a remote area, or you've forgotten to ask for the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah, how many times has the internet gone down where you live?
Oh my God.
Probably a few times in your life.
Come to Brisbane.
I don't have any more pros.
Oh yeah, I'm Mr. Pessimist today. Always. Streaming basically just promotes mindless consumption, especially due to the fact that most content nowadays comes from the big corporations, the big two or the big three. I can't think of a third one. It's all just products nowadays.
Yeah, Star Wars has become a product.
Oh boy.
You just turn it on while you're making dinner. The Mandalorian.
Hey, let's watch Star Wars channel.
Jack Black is in it for some reason.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about something better, which is physical media.
Physical media. I love physical media.
Pros for physical media. You can have a nice little collection on your shelf.
There's a con though. It could take up space, a lot of space, especially if you're as avid as we are.
Yeah. Another pro is that it doesn't require internet.
Oh boy. But it could become potentially very expensive, especially if you're buying multiple films, you're buying older films, higher quality like 4K versions, or you're buying entire TV shows. Could cost about $100 to buy the entire Breaking Bad series or something like that. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the end of the pros and cons. Hey, it's editing Lachlan, as the YouTubers say. I actually forgot to say this in the video, which it's the whole point of the video, and that's to say that there really isn't any better way to watch films, but we recommend that you buy the shows and films that you love on physical media so that you have access to them whenever you like in the format that you like. So yeah, but if you like streaming, then that's fine too. See ya in a second when I cut back to the set. And I just want to add, off the cuff,
oh boy,
I've rolled up my sleeves so you can't see them, the cuffs that is. YouTube is technically a streaming service. Yes, it's true. And at this point, YouTube has only been out for 19 years and we don't actually know the future of the internet.
Didn't they have their own YouTube Red or something?
Yeah, don't even mention that. No one liked it. In 20 years, how do we know that YouTube's still around? We're uploading all these films and
it'll be called Disney Tube.
It's not even really a secure place. The whole internet, it's a whole nother discussion. The whole internet, for all we know, in 50 years, the internet could not exist, and there's gajillion, terabytes of stuff
Y2K
that are just going to disappear, including all the super video films, which is why
we're releasing a DVD.
Yeah, and we're releasing all our films on VHS.
Yeah.
In the Super Video Collection, order now on February 30th.
We can do a promo video.
February 30th means it's not ever coming out.
No, like the New Yorker. Wait. What is that? Do you hear that? Sounds like a new segment.
What?
What is this segment called?
It's called Thing of the Day.
Thing of the Day.
Today's Thing of the Day
I love Thing of the Day.
is this 1970 vinyl copy of the Michael Nesmith album Loose Salute. It has some good songs on there, including Silver Moon. Joe got me this for my birthday. Thank you, Joe.
Joe's cool.
Joe is pretty cool.
He's not in this one. Sorry for all you Joe fans out there. He's not here this time.
Joe M. He will be commenting though.
He will be back.
If you've been in this.
Yes. Well, if you've made it this far through the video, we would like to thank you.
And thank you for liking and subscribing.
See you next time.
See you next time.